I'm so much happier now than I've ever been in my life, happier and healthier, and it's amazing. I use the method every day, and it's just so wonderful to wake up in the morning and be glad for the day and go to bed the same way and have lots of good things happening during the day.
I feel a great deal of love inside. I feel so much peace. We talk about having peace in our life. This generates it. And you feel it instantly as you release these different negatives that you're feeling. I'm thrilled. This is worth every penny. It's life-changing.
Welcome back, everybody, and to those of you at home, you'll already be noticing that you're experiencing gains all of the time. I just want to ask you to remember to write those down. If they're small gains, larger gains, they're all just as important. So do make a note of them. Do keep validating yourself for the progress that you're making. You also, from just watching other people release, you at home especially, will see that often with a release comes laughter or a smile. I just want to remind you again also about that. You don't necessarily have to do that every time you release. You may find that naturally happening, but if it doesn't, that's okay too. As Hale said earlier, some of our quietest releases are in fact our most profound. So really, it's to not try and judge whether you're doing it right or not. Just let it be natural and let it be easy. We're going to be working on a worksheet now. So turn in your books to the page that says Suppress and Express. Those of you at home also. What we do all of the time is to either suppress or express. We're constantly pushing down our feelings. And let me just say a little about suppression and reiterate what Hale had said earlier. What suppression is when an uncomfortable feeling comes up and we just do everything we can to push it down and not feel it. It's uncomfortable, we don't want to, so we just suppress it and push it down. The other way that we do is to express. This is putting the feeling into action. What we do, maybe we yell at somebody, maybe we cry, but we really put it out there, what we're doing. So what we're going to do now is you're going to think of several instances where you both suppressed and where you expressed your feelings. And I do want you to think of specifics. Because we're doing it so much ongoing, it will help you to think of specific times when you did this. It could be this time last week. It could be a year ago. It could be when you were a child. But let's take some time now to give you an opportunity to think of several things that you both suppressed and expressed. So let's just take a moment to do that. Okay, so how you work on this worksheet is first of all to take a specific instance, either where you suppressed or expressed, and to see how you feel now about that instance. And when you've done that, you'll just write that down under what's my now feeling, under the column there. And then we'll be using the technique and releasing, and you'll be checking off the let go column when you've released the feeling about it. And we'll be going back and checking. Very often when a situation occurs like this, we have more than one feeling about it. So we'll be continuing to release until you feel good about that particular time or instance. So just a reminder, those of you at home, follow along with the instance that you're working on also. And that way you can be using the technique on your own. Okay, so who would like to work first? Okay, so Rodney, what is it you'd like to release on?
Yes, one of my goals is to get out of debt. being relieved myself of debt, but to do it honorably, not through bankruptcy or anything like that, but legitimately pay people back that I borrowed from. And sometimes I suppress my ability to do something about that, and other times I will express aggravation or frustration that I have debt, and that it's still there, and it's handicapping me financially, tying up my resources every month.
Okay. And can you think of a specific instance where that happened?
Yes, I can when I write the check to pay the bill.
Okay.
I feel it acutely. I feel that all my money, or a disproportionate amount of my funds are going towards debt instead of towards other things I like to go for.
Okay. Well, when you think about that, when you just think about writing the check to pay for the bills, what's your now feeling, Rodney, about it?
That somebody else is controlling my checkbook.
Okay. And how does that make you feel?
Not good.
Can you find what sort of
Powerless.
emotion? Powerless. Okay. Where would you put the powerless feeling on the chart?
I know one feeling I feel is frustration, which gets back to anger
Uh-huh.
about
Well,
that.
you might even want to make a note of the powerless feeling first, and that might be another feeling that's there about it. But just see, where do you think you might put powerless?
Apathy?
Uh-huh. Yes. Okay. I just want you, Rodney, to allow yourself to feel that powerless or apathy feeling. Can you feel it? Okay. Could you let go of that apathy feeling?
Yes.
If you could, would you?
Yes.
When would you let it go?
Let's go right now.
Good, okay. Good as time as any, huh? Okay. See if there's any more, but just check back though.
There's
Feel the remainder, yeah.
still some there.
Right, the remainder of that powerless or apathy feeling. Can you feel it? Could you let it go?
Yes.
Good. If you could, would you?
Yes.
When would you let go?
Now.
Okay, good, all right. Let's check again and see if there's any more remaining of that apathy feeling.
Still a little bit.
Okay. Let's release on that part that's left. Just allow yourself to feel the remainder there. Could you let it release?
Yes.
Just decide to let it go?
Release it.
Good, would you?
Yes.
When would you let it go?
Let it go right now.
Okay. And take a look. Is there any more of that powerless or apathy feeling there?
It feels better.
Okay. So you might want to check that powerless feeling, that apathy feeling that you let it go. Now I want you to think of, again, that specific instance in your mind, Rodney, where you were writing the check. See if there's another feeling there. What's your now feeling about that?
Now feeling like I can do something to improve the situation.
Okay. Where would you put that on the chart?
Courageousness.
Mm-hmm. I would make a note of that too, that you feel you can do something. Okay, good. Would you say that that is a gain?
Yes, definitely.
Good. You might want to make a note of that in a moment in your gains book. So who's next? Who would like to work next? Do some releasing. Michael. Let me ask you, Michael, can you think of a specific time on your list there that you expressed, when you just expressed at somebody or something that you still have feelings about?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do some releasing on that. What was the time? Do you mind saying a little bit about it?
Well, I've been working with a coworker. We've been working together for a couple of weeks, and one day, for some reason, he was being really critical of what I was wearing, and I finally just told him to.
Okay. Okay. Well, what's your now feeling about that? You're just letting it go.
Yeah.
What's your now feeling about that? How's that happening, about him saying that to you?
Well, I feel kind of, I wish I hadn't reacted the way that I did, really.
Okay. And what kind of feeling would you put that under the emotions? Would it be like a regret?
Yeah, or embarrassed. No, probably more like a regret. Yeah.
Okay. So it would be like a grief feeling?
No, he deserved it. No.
That might be another feeling there about it.
Yeah, I wish that I wish I had better control.
Okay. Okay. Just write that down on your worksheet. I wish I hadn't said anything. Or that I regretted having said something.
Okay.
And just allow yourself to feel that feeling. Can you feel it?
Yeah, I can.
Could you let go of that feeling?
Yeah, I could.
If you could, would you?
Sure. Yeah, it's just going away as soon as I think about it.
Yes, good. It's just spontaneously releasing.
Mm-hmm.
Terrific. Think about it again now, Michael.
Okay.
Okay. Is there any more of that regret feeling there? Can you?
No.
Okay. When you think about it, you can check off the regret feeling, by the way. When you think about that situation again, see what feeling is there now?
Like pride.
Okay.
Because I stuck up for myself.
All right.
Yeah.
Just let yourself feel that prideful feeling.
Okay.
Just make a note of it on your sheet there. Allow yourself to feel it. Could you let go of that pride feeling?
Yes, I could.
Would you?
Yeah, I would.
When would you let that feeling go?
No.
Okay. Just feel any more remaining pride that might be there, Michael.
Maybe a bit.
Okay. Could you decide to let that go?
Yes, I could.
Good.
Yes.
Would you?
I did, yes.
Yeah. When? A little more?
No. I
Okay.
feel really good, thank you.
Good. So just for a moment, though, check back and think about that specific time again. How is it feeling now?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. It feels pretty good.
Okay, good. Would you say that that's a gain?
Yeah, definitely.
Good. So don't forget to write that in your gains, but can also to check off and now feel good. And you can just carry on, Michael, with other instances that you've just written down there.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So who would like to work next?
I thought of something very interesting while I was working through my particular instance when I suppressed, realizing that I think I've become an expert at suppressing.
Uh-huh.
Because in one situation, or one arena of your life, for example, at home, well, you move from there to work where you have to perform whatever it is you do.
Mm-hmm.
And you find yourself not being able to deal with the problems from home at work, so you have to suppress them in order to function at work.
Sure.
And I find that in this particular instance, I was in a very heated argument with my mate,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to put that out of my mind in order to function at work. And looking back on it, I see a lot of guilt and remorse
Okay.
about the argument, and then suppressing it so I could carry on with the day's activities at work.
Okay. When you think about that instance now, Chris, what's your now feeling about that happening?
I think the strongest feeling is guilt.
Okay. Just write down guilt there. Where would you put that on the chart? Guilty feeling.
Grief.
Yeah, okay. What I'd like you to do is just to allow yourself to feel that guilty or grief feeling. Can you feel it?
very much so.
Could you let it go?
Yes.
You could, would you?
Yes.
When would you let it go?
No.
Okay. Feel it again. Feel the remaining grief feeling there. There's more of it there. Can you feel it? Could you let that guilty or grief feeling go? It's just a feeling. Would you?
Yes.
When would you let it go?
No.
Okay. When you think of that time again, can you feel any more of it there?
There's still a little there.
Yeah, okay. It's fine. Just feel the part that's left, Chris, of that grief feeling. Can you feel it? Could you let it go?
Yes.
Would you? Would you let that feeling go?
No.
Okay, good.
Feels a lot lighter.
Good.
Better.
Just think of the instance again, though. See if there's any other feeling there about when you had that heated argument. You had to come to work and just suppress it.
Maybe a slight feeling of anger for how
Okay.
things that occur that way.
Okay. Just allow yourself to feel that there. That angry feeling when you think of that time. Okay. Could you let that angry feeling go?
Yes.
Would you?
Yes.
When would you let it go?
No.
Okay. Let's see, is there any more of it there?
I feel pretty good about that.
Good. Okay. So you can check off, feel good, and check off your anger and guilt feelings, having let those go. Okay, Chris, so what was the time you expressed a feeling?
Well, the first instance that came to mind was after an evening of escaping. Was driving my car, which was then new at the time, and somebody rear-ended me. And naturally, my first instinct was just rage. And I got out and literally became physical with the person that had hit me because there was no reason for them to hit me. And I can very easily get back into the anger of that situation because ever since the car was repaired, it seems like there's something that they missed and something that's happened ever since. And I really kind of regret what happened in getting out of the car and getting physical with the person, but at the same time you get caught up in the anger.
Yeah.
Is it so wrong to express at any point in time?
Well, let me answer that by just saying that there's a feeling behind your question even. And maybe you might want to take a look and see what is behind that. Can you get a sense of a feeling just even behind your question?
Guilt. Guilt for doing it.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, but just where would you put that on the chart? Is that the grief feeling again?
Am I stuck there?
No. You'd be surprised how much of a feeling we have. I mean, really, sometimes we just have feelings that, keep on coming up for us.
Yeah, I think maybe it does fall back into grief.
Okay. So let yourself feel that. Can you feel it?
Mm-hmm.
Could you let it go?
Yes.
Would you?
Yes.
When would you let that go?
No.
Okay. Can you feel any more of the remaining grief there?
There's a little.
Okay. Could you let it release?
Yes.
Would you?
Yes.
When would you let it go?
Now.
Okay. back again. Is there any more of the feeling there?
It's better, but just a little.
Okay. Well, that remaining piece, just let yourself feel it again. Could you let it go?
Yes.
Would you?
Yes.
Good. When?
Now.
All right. Okay. And how is it now?
Much better.
Okay. Think of the specific instance where you just got rear-ended. And see what feeling is there about it, Chris, now. And just remember that happening. And see what feeling it stirs up now. And you think about you getting out of the car. Once you get physical even with the other person there.
Once again, just a touch of the anger.
Okay. All right. Just feel it again. Just let yourself feel it. Could you let it go?
Yes.
Would you let it go?
Yes.
When would you let that go?
No.
All right. See if you can feel any more remaining anger there. When you think of that situation or instance, just let yourself feel it. Could you decide to let that anger go?
Yes.
Would you?
Yes.
When would you let that go?
No.
Okay,
That feels so much better.
good.
I don't know why I need to carry that around with me anyway.
Right, but it's absolutely amazing how something can happen like it's 2 or 3 years ago. But we actually never deal with the feelings about it. We do just suppress them. And, you know, even in a situation like this, or you may even just be walking down the street and suddenly you feel it. And it's like from 3 years ago. And we really just don't need to carry that around with you. But so now, with releasing, you can turn that around. And when you notice those feelings coming up, instead of pushing them down, just let them come up and allow yourself to release them. Okay? And I would make a note in your gains book, Chris, and check off the appropriate columns there. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so who else has something that they'd like to do some releasing on? Yeah, Greg.
I've been dealing with having insomnia, and it's tied together with allergies, and I think they're just symptoms of all the feelings built up.
Okay.
But in a specific instance I was thinking of is I do anything to avoid going to bed at a reasonable time, and it's just I'll watch TV or go out in the back patio and play pool, anything, make lists of things I have to do the next day. Just a fear of walking into the room to try to relax and settle down and go to sleep.
Okay. Can you think of the last time that maybe that happened?
About 12 hours ago.
Okay. Why don't we take that time then? Okay.
It's going on every day.
Right. Well, when you think about just last evening, when you're thinking about wanting to go to bed but knowing it's too early, that you're never going to be able to sleep, what's the feeling there? What's your now feeling about that?
It's a feeling of fear.
Okay. Just let yourself feel it, Greg. That fear feeling. Can you feel it?
Yeah.
Could you let go of that fear feeling? It's just a feeling.
Yeah, let go of some of it.
Good. Would you let go of a little more?
Yes.
Okay. When would you let it go?
Now.
All right. Feel some more of it there. Feel more of what's left, Greg.
It
That
actually
fear.
feels like a shortness of breath just to think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how does that make you feel?
That spurs more fear.
Okay. Yeah, it's like a vicious circle. Well, just feel what's there now. That fear feeling. Can you feel it?
There's a little bit left.
Yeah.
I let go of quite a bit.
Good. Well, just that piece left. Could you let it go?
Yeah, I can let it go.
Good. Would you let it go?
Yeah, I'm letting it go right now.
Great.
Yeah, it feels
Good.
good.
Well, when you think about not being able to sleep last night, or going to get to bed, and just thinking it's too early, not looking forward to that, what's the feeling there now?
It doesn't seem as important.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a step in the right direction.
Certainly is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would you put that on the chart?
That it doesn't matter.
Okay.
That's kind of good.
Yeah.
That's up someplace almost to acceptance, I think.
Yes,
It really doesn't
absolutely.
matter.
Absolutely. Great. And just as a suggestion, Greg, you might want to, it's a wonderful opportunity that we have in the beginning of the morning when we first wake up, and last thing at night, to do a little releasing, especially if you know that you have difficulty sleeping. You might want to see what feelings are there and release those about, it might be a feeling, oh, I know I'm never going to get to sleep again tonight. So that might be more of that fear. Or it's hopeless.
Yeah, I've had the hopelessness.
Uh-huh.
You wake up in the middle of the night and go, well, why bother? It's 5
Right.
o'clock, close to daylight, I'm up,
Right. And see, just before you go to bed, what feelings are there, and release those. Many graduates of ours have reported that when they do that, they get such a different night's sleep and much more calm, relaxed, and they're able to sleep. In fact, I had a man in Orange County who, on a class some time ago, and he came into the class and he just couldn't sleep at night. In fact, he got back from the Gulf War and he just had nightmares every single night. And he would wake up the same time even, on the dot. He said it to me, I don't even have to look at the clock. And I just know what's there. And I helped him release. And in fact, the third day of the class, he came in and he just said, I have this game to share. He said, I can't believe it. I slept last night for the first time and I didn't wake up. I didn't look at the clock. I slept the whole night through. And he said, and I did it by releasing before I went to bed. And he said it was wonderful. And he's continued to do that for himself, and it really helped him. So you might want to try that.
I'll do that.
Okay. But let's take a time now where you express the feeling that you have feelings about still.
I'm kind of focused on the same issue.
Okay.
This morning, I didn't get to sleep till maybe between 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Woke up in the middle of the night at about 4, and I'm just getting back to sleep, and my dog starts barking.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there screaming at this dog in a real relaxing way to get back to sleep.
Right.
Shut up. You're dead,
Okay.
That was real anger.
Yeah. Just make a note of the anger under the what's my now feeling column.
All right.
Okay. And when you think about your dog barking and waking you up, just let yourself feel it, that angry feeling.
Okay.
Could you let go of that feeling of anger?
Yeah. Yes, I can.
Good. Would you?
Yeah, yes, I will.
When would you let it go?
Not right now.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if there's any more remaining of that anger feeling.
There isn't.
Okay.
No, it shouldn't have mattered. It doesn't matter.
Okay. You feel okay about him doing
Yeah.
that?
He
Good.
lives.
Good. Yeah, it could be difficult to stop the dog barking. We can't always change the externals. We can't always change what's going on around us. But you can change how you feel about it.
Yeah,
Really, and that's the way you can handle it. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Craig. And don't forget to write in your gains book too. Just remember to acknowledge yourself. We're going to do some releasing now with the home viewer. So you can carry on working, taking an example off of your sheet here where you either suppressed or expressed. And now let's do some releasing all together. Okay. So those of you at home, just get comfortable and allow yourself to focus on your feeling center. And take a specific instance that you wrote down that you have a feeling about. And just see what your now feeling is about that specific time. When you've identified the feeling, just write it down under what's my now feeling. Again, if it helps you to use the chart, feel free to use that to help you identify the feeling. Whatever that feeling is, just allow yourself to feel it. Now, could you let go of that feeling? Would you let it go? When would you let it go? Feel more of that feeling there, just the remainder that's there. Just allow yourself to feel it. Could you let it go? It's just a feeling. Would you let that feeling go? And when would you decide to let it go? Let's take another look and allow yourself to feel the remainder of that feeling there. Maybe more of it there. You don't always let go in one go. Sometimes it takes several times. So just allow yourself to feel the remaining feeling. Could you let it go? Would you let it go? When would you let it go? Okay, now you may have let go of all of that feeling by now, and if you have, you can check it off in the let go column. But let's think of that instance again and see what your now feeling is about it. See if there's a different feeling there. Whatever feeling is there now, just write it down under what's my now feeling. Now whatever that feeling is, just like you to allow yourself to feel it. Could you let go of that feeling? Would you let it go? And when would you let it go? Allow yourself to feel that feeling again, whatever is remaining there of it. Could you let go of that feeling, whatever it is? Would you let it go? And when would you let it go? And just see what's left there now again of that feeling. Allow yourself to feel whatever's left. Could you let it go? Remember, it's just a feeling. Would you let that feeling go? And when would you let it go? Okay, good. Probably feeling a lot better about that instance now. If you do need a little more time, you can pause the tape and just finish until you feel good about that time or that situation. And when you do, just check off on the let go and the feel good column.
Well, using the release technique has made me a very different person. When I first came to the course, I had no idea what to do with all the things going on inside me. And I didn't even understand what they were. And it really has given me a tool that I have with me all the time. And it's my best friend. It's there no matter where I am. And it just is something that enables me to really be in charge of my life and how I feel about what's going on. And I never knew there was anything like that around. And it's just given me back a lot of me that I didn't even know was missing.
The advice that I can give to anyone that wants to learn this technique, based on my own experience, is that I come from a family that the virtue is stubborn. And just allow yourself to get the stubbornness out of it and just really go for your feeling center and allow yourself to have the opportunity to feel it, so then you can judge it if you want to. But allow yourself to give that opportunity.
Okay, so we're going to take a break here now in the class, and I suggest you do so at home also. If you do need more than 15 minutes, that's quite okay. And if you need more time just to carry on your releasing, that's also all right. But do keep a focus on your releasing and seeing what feelings are there. If you can't get back after 15 minutes, and maybe it's going to be an hour or two before you can regain or restart, that's fine. But just keep your releasing and your focus going, and that way you'll be getting the maximum out of the course.
To just keep with it, because your life will be totally different after you release. And just to trust it and to trust yourself, because it is possible. And it's the simplest and most effective thing you could possibly do that will change everything.
So I went from an existence of doing what I was supposed to do 24 hours a day, you know, everything set in a pattern, the job, the family, everything, to deciding that I could have it the way I wanted. That was a big revelation. And now I have a life where I'm my own boss of my own company. I live where I want to live. And whenever any obstacle comes up, I know that I can use the method and flatten it. And that's the biggest power, you know, that I think that you could possibly have.
Welcome back from the break. I just want to remind you about something that I think you're already starting to get a sense of, is that no matter how big a feeling seems, no matter how long you've had that problem, you may have had a certain feeling about something since you were 3 years old. No matter how long it is, no matter how big it seems, it's only a feeling. If you just remember that one thing, it will help you really start to open up, let the feelings up, and let them go. Also, another important thing to remember is that as you start the releasing process, sometimes what that will do, because you're not suppressing as much as you were before, it's going to allow feelings to come to the surface. This is a normal part of the process. If all of a sudden you think you're having more feelings than you were before, that's not true. Those feelings are always there. It's just that you are doing a great job of keeping them suppressed. So as you start to unsuppress, as you start to release, more feelings you might become aware of many more feelings than you were aware of before. This is not a step backwards. This is definitely a step forwards, because if you're not aware of them, that doesn't mean they're not affecting your life. As I mentioned earlier, we very often are so good at suppressing we don't realize we have been suppressing until it's too late. It's taken a physical toll, we've made a mistake, we've blown up. But here, as you become aware of the feelings, you're allowing them to come up and you start letting them go, the results you'll see will be absolutely wonderful. The next release sheet we'll be working on is the success release sheet. So if you would get out your workbook, if you don't have it out, and turn to the page in your workbook that says success at the top of it. Now, success is a very broad topic. When I talk about success, very often the first thing we think about is success in business. But that's not the only thing I'm referring to. You could want to be successful in a relationship, successful as a parent. When we talk about, we're a very success-oriented society. We're always trying to succeed at everything we do, and sometimes we feel like we succeed, and sometimes we feel like we don't. So it can be quite a charged topic for all of us. So before we move forward and work on this sheet, what I'd like you all to do, you here in the live seminar, and also those of you at home, is spend a moment thinking of a specific area where you would like to become more successful. And that's what we'll focus on in this next section of the course. So just take a moment or two and find a specific area where you would like to become more successful. Okay, now this sheet is very similar to the sheets we've worked on so far. You'll notice there are two columns. One column says, what is my now feeling about succeeding in this area, and what is my now feeling about failing? Now very often we'll look at one side or the other, and what we'll be doing here is we'll be looking at both sides. Our feelings about failing and our feelings about succeeding. When you release on both, you're opening up the space within yourself to really be solidly successful in whatever area that you choose. So who has a situation that you'd like to work on? And we'll just jump right in. And remember, those of you who are watching on videotape, remember to join in and do your best to work as I'm working with others. Cheryl.
The topic is dealing with feelings, and I know sometimes I can have something happen and whatever the feeling is immediately changes my mood or my attitude towards what's going on. Mm-hmm. And it's like I don't have any control over it at all. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to be more successful in dealing with that.
All right. So what you're now feeling about succeeding in dealing with your feelings?
I want it.
You want it? Okay, write that down. And what is that? What kind of feeling is that? Apathy, grief, fear, lust, anger?
Lust.
Lust? Okay, write down lust. All right, now just allow yourself to feel that lust feeling. Okay. Could you let it go?
I could.
Would you?
I would.
When?
No.
Okay. Now look, see if there's any more of that lust feeling. Just allow yourself to feel the remaining lust, that wanting to get it right.
Definitely not as strong.
Okay, but you do feel some, right?
I think so, yeah.
Now just allow yourself to feel the lust feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Could you let it go?
Yes, I could.
Would you?
Yes.
When?
I get confused. It's like I get ahead of myself or
Right.
behind or something.
Right. You start to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, as soon as you get out of as soon as you go from here to here, you just release very easily.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's almost like wanting to follow along with your words.
Uh-huh.
So, okay.
Okay. Well, look at it again. How do you feel now about succeeding handling your feelings? Is there still some lust there? What did you let?
I still want it a little bit, yeah.
All right, there's still some lust. All right, so just allow yourself to feel the remaining lust feeling.
Okay.
Could you
Okay,
let
by
it
the
go?
way.
I know, as soon as you spelled it, you let go of some of it. There goes some more.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now just allow yourself to feel whatever's left of the lust.
I don't find it.
You may have just let it go. All right, give yourself a check in the let go column.
Okay.
Now, how do you feel about it now? Do you feel good, or is there another feeling there? When you think of succeeding?
I think there's a little bit of fear
Fear?
about
Okay.
not succeeding. But
All right, about not succeeding, you said? All right, so write that down, fear. Okay, and just allow yourself to feel the fear feeling. Can you feel it? All right. Could you allow yourself to let it go?
Yes, I could.
Would you?
Yes.
When?
No.
Okay. Now feel the remaining fear. Just feel whatever's left of that fear feeling.
Okay.
Okay. Now could you let it go?
Yes.
Would you?
Yes.
When?
No.
Okay, how is it now?
That's better.
It's better? Is it still a little?
Yeah, I think I still want it a little bit.
Okay. So it's still a little there. So just allow yourself to feel it, whatever's left. And could you let it go?
Yes.
Would you?
Yes.
When?
No.
Good. I think that's a two-checker.
Yeah, that's good.
Good. Now, how do you feel about failing at control, at being master of your feelings?
It's like an anxiousness. I don't know whether that's fear or what it is.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Because it's so controlling.
yeah. So where would it fit the best? The anxious feeling.
Probably fear.
All right.
Okay.
So now just allow yourself to feel that anxious fear feeling.
It wants to go away as soon as I start thinking about it. Trying to get it there.
Uh-huh. Well, I think you're letting some of it go.
Mm-hmm.
So just see what's left. Just allow yourself to feel the remaining fear. Can you feel it?
Yeah, I can feel it.
All right. Could you let it go?
Yes.
Would you let it go?
Yes.
When would you let it go?
No.
Okay, how is it now?
It's much better.
Much better.
Mhm.
Great, but there's still a little left, isn't
I
there?
think so.
All right, so just allow yourself to feel that remaining fear. Can you feel it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, could you let it go?
Yes.
Would you?
Yes.
When?
I just did.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Did you let it all go?
I think so.
Good. Do you feel good now about it?
Yeah, I feel much calmer about it.
All right, 2 more checks. I think that's enough to get you started. Then you can keep going on your own, and I'll go on to someone else.
Okay.
All right?
Thank
And
you.
remember to keep releasing as I'm working with others. So who else would like to work on the success sheet? Yes, Craig.
I'd like to become more successful at managing my time.
Mm-hmm.
I just turned 40, and I just seem to have more things to do in my life than I've ever had. And sometimes it's just overwhelming, and I don't even know where to start. And I'm always feeling like I'm not getting enough done, or distracted, and just brings up all kinds of heavy feelings.
Yeah, it sounds like a bunch. So let's focus on the success side first. How do you feel about succeeding at managing your time?
I get a powerless kind of feeling. Just
Powerless?
what's the use?
Right. And where is that on the chart?
That's apathy.
Apathy. All right, so just allow yourself to feel that apathy feeling. Can you feel it?
I think it left.
I think you let it go. Well, again, you don't have to wait for us to ask you the questions. Remember, we're working ourselves out of a job, not into one.
Well, I hate that feeling so much. I mean, I guess I'm angry because I feel that way so much.
Right, so that maybe that's the next feeling. So just feel the anger. There goes the anger. You're going to work me out of a job real fast. You know, look at that again and see if there's any more of the anger left.
No, I was feeling kind of sad about it all now. Just
Okay, so there's some grief coming up?
yeah, you know, that I stay in that so much of my time.
All right, so that's a grief feeling.
Yeah.
All right, so just allow yourself
Loss.
just allow yourself to feel it. Could you allow that feeling of grief to release? Could you?
I could, but
Would you?
I don't know.
I'm going to ask you when anyway. When?
I don't want to hold on to that one.
Yeah, but you let go of some anyway. Yeah, you start to think about it. Lester has an expression, Lester Levinson, the founder of the Sedona Method, has an expression, thinking is stinking. Because we use thinking a lot to hold ourselves back. So how do you feel now when you think of...
feeling some of the grief.
All right, so just allow yourself to feel the grief. Now, could you allow it to release?
Yes.
Would you?
Yes.
When?
Now.
Okay, how does it feel now?
It feels clear.
Feels clear? Okay. And give yourself a few checks. We haven't been stopping for checks.
Okay.
Okay, now how do you feel about failing in managing your time?
That, I don't know, that kind of brings up some anger.
Anger?
Yeah.
All right.
Because I use anger to push myself.
Okay. So do you feel the anger right now? Can you feel it? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Could you allow the anger to release? Could you?
Yes.
Would you?
Yes.
When?
Now.
Okay. So just feel the anger again. Just feel the remaining anger.
Pretty light.
I mean, it's still a little, though. There it goes.
Okay.
All right, I'll let it all go if you insist. Now, guys, if you want to hold on to a feeling, don't let me stand in your way. But look, all we're doing here is giving you a choice. Before you take this class, before you learn how to release, you don't always have a choice. Yes, occasionally you will let go of a feeling, by accident usually. You don't really have a choice about it. All we're doing here is helping you get in touch with the fact that you always have a choice about how you feel. So you always have the choice to either let go or hold on. And the more you let go, the better you'll feel. So how does it feel now?
It's a relief. It's nice to have a choice.
Right. Okay. So how does it feel? How do you feel now, though, about failing at managing your time?
It's okay.
Okay. So, some more checks then. You think you can keep going on your own?
I don't know. I like it when you're helping me.
Yeah.
It's easier.
Well, it might seem that at first.
I think so.
Okay, yeah, you keep going on your own because you're doing fine, Craig.
Thanks.
So who else? Anyone else want to work on becoming more successful? Dave.
Yeah, I always felt that I was a fairly well-adjusted type of a person until it came to the point where I lost a considerable sum of money. So now I'm concerned about financial success and maintaining that success. I think I have a fear that it would happen again. And I think that's become a hang-up.
Right. Okay, so what was the topic you picked? Financial success?
Yes.
All right. So what is your feeling about succeeding at being more financially successful?
Well, I love the idea.
Right.
I love the opportunities that it can give one, but at the same time, I guess I have this concern, this
All right,
fear.
the concern is what's holding it back.
Yeah.
So just allow yourself to become aware of the concern. Just allow yourself to feel it. And where would you put that on the chart? Is it an apathy, a grief, a fear, lust, anger? What is it?
In fear.
In fear? Okay, so just allow yourself to feel that fear feeling.
Okay.
Could you let it go?
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah. I would like to.
When? Was that a now? I didn't hear.
That's a now.
Okay, good.
That's a now.
All right, good. And how do you feel now about succeeding financially?
Well, it's still something. There's still a lust involved there that, yes, you do want, but again, I think there's still some of that fear that's residual as a result.
All right, so what are you more aware of, the lust or the fear?
Probably more of the lust.
Okay. So now just allow yourself to feel the lust.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, it feels better than fear. That's lust, all right. So just allow yourself to feel what, you let go of some of it, but just let yourself feel the rest of the lust.
Okay.
Okay. Now, could you allow yourself to let it go? Could you? Could you?
I don't want to.
I know. I'm going to go through the questions
Hang on to
anyway.
that.
Would you? When?
Boy, that's tough.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right.
By the way, I just want to say something about lust that might make it easier. A lot of people get very confused about lust because lust, we think that lust is having, but it's the opposite. Lust is wanting. And wanting and having don't coexist. When we're wanting something, do you want to be Dave?
No, I am.
Right. So we don't go running around wanting to be who we are. However, when we're lusting after something, we're actually holding it away. Lust is a feeling of lack. So that's why we do also release the lust. Some people have a very positive association with lust. You might wonder, why would anyone want to let go of it? It feels good. Because when we're lusting after something, it's actually holding it away. I'll give you an example. I have a friend who I've known for a really long time. He's Mr. Deal. He's always on the edge. I can just feel it. I'm just this close. Except he always is this close. He never gets there because he never lets go of the lust. He's perpetually in lust. You've all probably met people like that. Very often, salespeople are like that. Oh, I can feel it. This is the big deal. And they never make it. Why don't they make it? Because they're holding on to the lust. It keeps them going and going and going, but they miss the goal. So wouldn't you rather just have the goal instead of the lust?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
So that's what we're letting go of, that sense of wanting. Not having. Having is terrific. Wanting gets in the way.
Okay.
Okay? Good.
Yeah.
So now look at it again. See if you can feel any more of the lust.
A little bit.
All right, so just allow yourself to feel it. Could you let it go? Would you?
Yeah.
When?
Okay. Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Okay. So I guess do you feel good now about it?
Yeah, I do.
All right, couple of
Yeah.
checks then.
Good.
Now how do you feel about failing at being financially successful?
Fearful.
Fearful. All right, now just allow yourself to feel the fear. Remember, it's just a feeling. Can you feel it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Could you allow yourself to let it go?
Yes. Yep.
Would you?
That I would like to do, yes.
Would you?
Yes.
When?
Now.
Okay, good. All right, now feel the remaining fear. Feel whatever's left of the fear.
Okay.
Could you allow it to release?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Would you?
Yes.
When?
Now.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
How does it feel now, Dave?
Better.
Better?
Lighter.
Lighter?
Much lighter.
Okay, just check. See if there's any other feeling now about failing.
I think there's still some there.
All right, well,
Having experienced it, why you
Absolutely.
stirs up those old feelings.
Okay. Now just allow yourself to feel it. What is the feeling that's there? Is it still a fear or is there another feeling?
Probably a fear.
Okay, so just allow yourself to feel that remaining fear. Remember, it's only a feeling. There he goes again, not waiting for the questions.
We'll do you out of a job.
All right, fine. Okay, did you let some of it go?
Yeah.
Okay, would you let go of more of it?
Probably could.
When?
Now. Okay.
Okay, how does it feel now?
Much better.
Much better?
Yes.
Okay. Would you say that's a gain from where you started out?
Definitely.
Great.
Definitely.
Now again, I just got you started. I'll let you just keep going on your own. Because I know you can do it.
Okay.
And make sure to write down your game too in your
I
games
will.
book.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay. Now, what we can do now is let's work with you at home. And those of you who I haven't had a chance to work with, you can work as I'm working with the home viewer. So now, if you've already started on a particular topic, that's okay. Now just see what your now feeling is about that topic. And just allow yourself to become aware of your now feeling, whatever it is. And remember to use the chart to trace it to the underlying emotion, the apathy, the fear, the lust, the anger, the pride, whatever it is. Just allow yourself to feel it. And take a moment and jot down what feeling it is. Could you allow that feeling to release? Would you? When? Focus on that feeling again. Just allow yourself to feel that remaining feeling. Could you let it go? Would you? When? Now feel that feeling one more time. Just allow yourself to feel it. Could you allow yourself to let it go? Would you allow yourself to let it go? When? Now, if you've let go of that feeling, give yourself a check in the let go column. But let's continue. Focus again on how you feel about succeeding in that area. And just allow yourself to feel your now feeling about it. Could you allow it to release? Would you? When? Now just allow yourself to feel the remainder of that feeling. Just allow yourself to feel the remaining feeling. Could you let it go? Would you? When? Now again, just allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling in the moment. Just allow yourself to feel you're now feeling. Could you allow yourself to let it go? Would you allow yourself to let it go? When? Now, if you've let it go completely, give yourself a check in the let go column. And if you're starting to feel good now about succeeding in that area, give yourself a check in the feel good column. Now let's move on to the other side. Now if you need to pause the tape for a moment to continue working on this side, go right ahead before we move on. But now let's look at how you feel about failing in that particular, on that particular subject or in that particular area. Now just allow yourself to feel you're now feeling. And then check to see if it's an apathy, a grief, a fear, a lust, an anger, or a pride. Now as you're allowing yourself to feel it, see if you can just decide to let it go. Would you let it go? When? Now just allow yourself to feel that feeling again, whatever that feeling is. Just allow yourself to feel it. Could you allow it to release? Would you? When? Now just allow yourself to feel you're now feeling, whatever you're feeling in the moment. And could you allow yourself to let it go? Would you? When? Now, if you've let go of that feeling, give yourself a check in the let go column. And look again and see how you feel about failing in that particular area. Just allow yourself to feel your now feeling about it. And again, identify which underlying emotion it's coming from. Could you allow it to release? Would you? When? Now feel the remainder of that now feeling. Just allow yourself to feel the remainder of that now feeling. Could you let it go? Would you? When? Take one more look inside and just allow yourself to feel your now feeling, whatever it is in the moment. Could you allow yourself to let it go? Would you allow yourself to let it go? When? Now, if you've let it go completely, give yourself a check in the let go column. And if you're feeling good about it now, give yourself a check in the feeling good column. Now, I strongly urge you to continue working on this sheet. Pause the tape and spend as much time as you need to really feel complete about that particular topic. Before we move on to the next thing we're going to cover, is there anything anyone wanted to bring up? Yes, Rodney.
Question.
Yeah.
I've noticed I've been experiencing some fatigue. And I'm a very high energy person. I never get tired or fatigued. As I've been going through this continual releasing technique, it seems to be making me be tired in a very underlying way. Is that a common phenomenon, or is that something you haven't seen before?
Okay. Well, what's the feeling behind the question?
Feeling behind the question is just wanting to know why I'm feeling more tired than I would expect to feel, just sitting here and relaxing in a nice soft chair all day.
Right. Okay, so there's a wanting to know?
Yes.
Okay.
Desire to have an answer.
Okay, that desire, was that an apathy, a fear, a lust, anger?
Well, it's probably, I guess, talking about fatigue, so it's probably coming out of the apathy area.
Well, it could be, but
or
just...
It could be lust, too.
Okay, well, which are you more in touch with, that lust to know or the apathy right now?
I'd say more of lust.
All right, so just allow yourself to feel the lust feeling.
Yeah, easy.
Okay. Could you let it go? Could you?
Yes, I could.
Would you?
Yes.
When?
No.
All right, see if there's any more of that lust to know.
It's diminished.
It's diminished, but there's still some.
A little bit.
Okay. And could you just allow yourself to feel it? Okay. Could you let it go?
Yes.
Would you? When?
Now.
Okay, how does it feel now?
I don't feel quite as tired.
You don't feel quite as tired either. Walk you right up.
Feels better.
It feels better. Okay. Now see, we did something there. Very often, when you ask a question, there's a feeling behind it. When you release the feeling, you'll start to get your own answer, and you actually kind of did. But I'll kind of point it out to you. It might not be that obvious. What happens sometimes when we're dealing with feelings, we get to a point, we've released a bunch, and then we say, oh, that's enough, and we start pushing it back down. And that can be exhausting when you start to push the feelings back down. So all we did is we released twice on the lust, and you started to wake up. So that's a roundabout way of answering the question. But more importantly, if you're willing to release even on the wanting to know that's coming up as you're sitting here, you'll not only get your own answer, but you'll feel better. Okay?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I do feel a little more energy here.
Terrific. Okay, I would write that down in your games book.
Okay.
The thing that stands out most as a specific result is I used to be unhappy a lot before, and now I don't have to be unhappy anymore. It's the most wonderful thing. That is the most important specific result I have. It's just as I don't have to be depressed or feel bad or any of that. It's gone. It's just wonderful.
For those of you out there watching this tape, it must feel rather like I felt, just watching others going through releasing and listening to the information. And I didn't know if it was working for me, but it was. So I just know that it's working for you. Just your willingness to be here. There's a desire to change and to grow in all of us. And I just know that it's changing your life in a very profound way. It may be subtle and you may not notice it right now, but the benefits that I got from it have just been tremendous, and I hope that you gain so much more than I have.
I just want to let you know that you're all doing really great. I know some of you still might be worrying, am I getting it? Am I doing it right? Whatever you're experiencing so far is perfect. You'll see everyone takes to the method in their own way. They have their own style of applying it. They'll have their own style of using it. So no matter how you're using the method so far, just allow yourself to keep working with it, keep allowing it to unfold. And in order to support you in really making the method solidly your own, we have these 3 special area of interest workbooks. Now the workbooks, as we've mentioned several times already, are the most important part of these videotapes and also this class, because it's in the workbooks that you really make the method your own. It really helps you work through whole issues, really get to completion on many different topics. And what we did is we created 3 special area of interest workbooks for you to focus on 3 topics that most people can really relate to. And what they are is, the first one is your financial freedom. Now, how many people right now can't relate to financial freedom? All of us would like a little more of that. It seems to be something very popular in our whole country. The next one is your appearance, health, and well-being. Most of us are always concerned about how we look. First thing we do in the morning when we get into the bathroom, we stare in the mirror and go, oh my God. No matter how good we look, no one ever feels, in our society, no one ever feels like they look good enough. And of course, we always want to have good health. And then also, a very important issue for most of us is our relationships. And it's not just our relationships with our spouse or our significant other. We're having relationships all the time with everyone we meet. And that's often the cause of a lot of uncomfortable and stressful feelings in our lives, is our relationships. So what I'd like you to do is, for the whole tape series and this whole class, I'd like you to find, now you can work through all 3 of these books at your leisure. In fact, the more you apply yourself to all 3 of these workbooks, the better. But what I'd like you to do is select one particular workbook and make that your focus for the class. It could be any one of the 3, whichever one you decide to use. And what I'd like you to do is, I'll open up to in the first workbook, in the first section, I picked the one on financial freedom. I figure that's the one most people these days could relate to. And if you open it up, I want you everyone take out that book for a minute. The way you'll get the most out of this program is by releasing in this workbook, in the first section, section 1, and the first question here is, what is my now feeling about how much money I have? Now, I think everyone will have some feeling about how much money they have, no matter how much it is. And the thing is, when you start to release your feelings about money, just like any other topic, you'll start to see sometimes very dramatic results for two reasons. One is, first of all, these days everyone's under a lot of stress and pressure about money. No matter how well they're doing, there's always that little nagging doubt, what's going to happen tomorrow? What if the economy changes again and I'm out of a job? Or my business doesn't do as well as it's doing right now? So working on releasing your feelings about money will help you deal with all the stress that's there just because of that whole money issue. Now the other reason that you'll see a dramatic result as you release on money is that with money, very often, if you've noticed, there are two people in the exact same profession will perform very differently. Even though they have the same training, the same background, what's the difference? Does anyone know what the difference is? It's their attitude. Now, everyone's probably heard that a positive mental attitude makes a tremendous difference. And most of us have tried different things to try to make ourselves think more positively. And if you ever try that, you realize it very often doesn't work. And why is that? It's very simple. When you're trying to think positively without letting go of those uncomfortable feelings, it's like putting good apples on top of a barrel full of rotten apples. What's eventually going to happen even to the good ones? They're going to rot. That's what happens with positive feelings, positive programming, or positive thinking when you're not letting go of the negative. So what we do here is we assume that underneath all those apples in the barrel, it's barrels made of gold. And if you're willing to dig out those rotten apples, all those uncomfortable feelings, you'll discover that gold within you. And you also start to see it in your life. So I highly encourage you to work in these special area of interest workbooks. And before you work in the next tape, or before you come back tomorrow morning, what I'd like you to do is just work through section 1. And then we'll let you know, Nikki or I will let you know when it's time to go on to section 2. So have a wonderful evening, and have a wonderful time using the method before we go to the next tape.
That's the end of session 2. The first 2 sessions are the hardest. It gets easier from this point on. Spend some time using the release technique before you start viewing session 3. You don't have to wait until a strong feeling comes up. Allow yourself to release even on little things. To release, all you need to do is become aware of your now feeling and then let it go. Allow it to release. You'll find that as you practice releasing on your own, you'll be able to go more and more to the releasing experience without the need to always ask the questions. Get into the habit of acknowledging and writing down your gains as they happen. The more you are willing to acknowledge the progress, the faster you'll move in your life, and the easier it'll be to have the release technique work for you. You are rediscovering an ability that has been dormant in you. We're all experts at suppressing and expressing feelings based on a lifetime of practice. And it will take practice to perfect this new and better way of releasing your feelings. This course and these materials are for your own use. Please encourage others to order their own video course, or at least have them view these tapes with their own set of workbooks. This material, used out of context, will not be helpful to others. Continue with your releasing. We'll see you tomorrow.